Normally I'd be Mythic by now, but yeah, Decathlon happened, and that took way too much of my playtime away from all the attempts. I didn't even take that many attempts, but from the limited amount of time that I even play the game, that has really eaten up a lot. We're still Diamond 3 though, which isn't bad. And I figured today's video should be something where we really settle down here and focus on climbing, playing the best possible, explaining all the plays. So if you're looking for that, well, you've come to the right place. It's been a while since I uploaded something like this where it's dedicated content. I'm going to be playing off stream, of course. What deck are we playing exactly? I think it's this one. Yes, this would be my latest version. So I've been really frustrated with Grixis recently. I feel like Standard is in a really bad spot right now. I feel like it's starting to get really stale. Grixis is all over the place. It's difficult to counter no matter what you're playing. This is as close as it gets, and I am still like maybe slightly favored, but the margin is so small, and it requires so many different factors to like decide games for me. Like whether they have a shield red uncontested, they can just free win the game. I could have a shield red uncontested and free win the game, although that's much less likely since I have more card advantage. But yeah, I'm starting to get really annoyed at playing Grixis all day, every day, and yeah, unfortunately, that's just what Standard is. But sometimes you hit another matchup and it's kind of fun. And sometimes you just destroy them and that's also kind of fun, I guess. But then, I mentioned this before. All right. Okay, so this list essentially built to compete with Grixis as much as possible while also having like a decent amount of good things to combat other matchups. I think this is a pretty good spread of cards here. We've got so this is the non-Giada version. I think I'm gonna try and innovate a little bit more. Maybe on stream later. I'm gonna play Decathlon, but another day. I'm gonna try a Giada and the 3/2 that brings back the 2-drop list with a really aggressive slant, because right now Grixis has started playing the serpent thing. What is it? Is it called Blade Coil Serpent? Yes. This thing is absurdly strong against non-counter spell based mid-range decks, and that's exactly what I'm playing. So we probably have to play a little bit more proactively and get rid of our cards earlier to play around the discard from that, because I've lost multiple games with this list where I just have like 3 removal spells in hand, and or maybe like 2 removal spells, 1 warden. I tap out the previous turn for owl, they discard my 3 cards, I lose. So that's been a problem. There's not really a way around that with this deck other than maybe, yeah, there's no way. Not with this deck. You need to build a deck differently. Anyways, we've got pretty straightforward list here. A bunch of removal spells to deal with Shieldred. I've been getting really frustrated with people just slamming it, and I have no answer for it for some reason. So now we have four potential answers plus the combination of like Blood Tithe plus finishing off with a Braid, or attacking and then Archangel of Wrath finishing off the Shieldred, or attacking Brothers End, etc., etc. So we've got that. We have 3 Wardens because I figured at this point I need more creatures that are very resilient to removal spells. Like I'm so sick of them just like removing my cards for pretty much free without something without some enter the battlefield effect to like compensate for like a soul transfer, since they've been playing a lot of this card recently. It's hard to tell. A lot of Grixis lists are very different. Some have like 4 soul transfers, some have 0. But yeah, either way, I don't think there's that much to say about this. It's pretty much what I've been playing recently. If you watched the previous video, this is pretty much the exact same list with no Junji, because that card is specifically tailored towards the Izzet ramp deck, and we are no longer facing that deck at all, since Grixis has pushed it out of the meta as expected. People were saying that deck was actually good against Grixis. It's not, as you can see from it disappearing completely. Sideboard, I've got 2 Lilies, which is kind of new. And I think I have the 3rd Go for the Throat, which is kind of important because yeah, I've been struggling against mono blue. You know what? I might actually start cutting the Wandering Emperors, because these have been absolutely useless. I've not really found many matchups where I'm happy with this. I don't really know what I would want to play instead though. I guess we can like search a little bit. It would probably be something that involves drawing cards, if I had to guess. I might have to. It might be Fourth Sanctuary Warden. I would maybe play it against Grixis, even instead of Owl potentially. It's a 5-drop. I don't think you can replace a 5-drop with a 6-drop. If I had better mana, I would consider playing this Invoke Despair, but that does not sound like a good game plan as well. Yeah, I think we're kind of locked out when it comes to card draw per se. This is an interesting card. What would this be good against? I could see myself maybe playing one of these. But again, Wandering Emperor is kind of good against mono red though. I feel like I don't want to. Yeah, it's the card I use the least in the sideboard right now. But I guess it is what it is. Oh, also, yeah, I like Grixis Command. Let's run a Grixis Command instead of a Wandering Emperor. I really like that card. Okay, I'm happy with this. All right, let's jump into it. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click that like button, and you can subscribe to the channel, of course, to support my future content. I really do appreciate it. And you can follow me on Twitch as well to watch me live. Let's get it started. Oh, nice. I get to play first. Actually, good mana, surprisingly. This deck has been very... it's so annoying. I love this deck so much. If it had better mana, I feel like it would not even close be the best deck in the format. But, I've been losing countless games to just having to mulligan because I'm missing a color, or even the innate amount of lands that you draw sometimes is a huge problem. So having like a 2-lander that's already kind of bad most of the time. So you need a 3-lander with at least one color most of the time, unless you want to gamble, which isn't a bad plan most of the time. I take gambles with 2-landers because I'm so frustrated with mulliganing with this deck. So yeah, I get pretty frustrated every time I think about the fact that the tri-lands, the triomes, are never released within the same time frame between each other. So like, we'll never have a metagame where you have Mardu Triome and Grixis Triome, which is kind of frustrating. Sand is good though. If I can get this down, I think I'll be fine. A lot of people have been running the stable version of this deck for some reason. I think I'm gonna discard this. I really need land here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to discard one of these as well. I need an Angel, Archangel of Wrath, not this one. But I need an Archangel, and then I'll be most likely fine. Okay. Interesting discard. Play with fire, sure. Yeah, I really need land, so I might have to discard both if I don't draw land, which would be unfortunate to say the least. If I can get this down, I think I will most likely win though. Were there any particular plays I need to talk about here? Because I forgot we were going more in depth here. Yeah, again, the reason I discarded the wedding announcement because I need to guarantee the land. The wedding announcement would be way too slow when I already have the Fable, which is the better of the two, essentially. We don't discard. Okay, that is interesting. Do I discard both Sanctuary Wardens? Probably not in this spot. Oh, I wish I drew that because I would have discarded that. That is not a very good card. You know what? Discarding second Warden is not that ridiculous either. But drawing the Bankbuster, definitely one of my worst draws here. Could have gone a lot better. Double Mishra's Foundry is also a problem. Okay, they're not going for it. That's good. Oh, they are. Okay, well. I guess we are probably blocking it. Trying to find... No, actually, I don't know if we're blocking it per se here. It does take them a lot of mana. Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. Hopefully I get a shield red and then we pretty much win on the spot. I don't think they'll have access to some way to kill it. This is really brutal. Having 2 Mishra's Foundry over a single one. But I need to save myself as much HP as possible. There we go. This will most likely live, and that is actually not too bad. That is okay. Not the worst, not the best. I don't think I'll die. I'm really looking for Sanctuary Warden to come down next turn. Or Archangel, if possible. I can't block with this, keep that in mind. Oh, they can go infinite with Fable as well, that's scary. That is very scary. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to play this and win. I'm going to need something else. Let's go with the block on this and the chump on this, probably. So much mana. Dude, Fable is so broken that it's being played in mono red aggro. That's so crazy to me. I think I won't block with the 1/1. I think it's pointless. They can make so many. I need to draw. No, that's not it. Let's start with discarding this. 'Cause I mean, at this point, no, I should discard this. Damn. I can't believe I'm not finding any removal spells at all that would change the game. Dramatically. Nope. This is just very unlucky. If I found a single piece of removal here, I would be in a much better spot. That is unfortunate. I think I'll most likely just die here. Maybe I should have blocked here. Damn, I have so much interaction in my deck. But yeah, sometimes you just don't really have any plays that work, and Fable just... It's crazy to me. They could have been playing pretty much anything, and they would have won in the spot because double Fable just dominated the entire game. That's how strong this card is. And it does need to be banned, realistically. No other card is able to do this with 2 copies for 3 mana. I do think I'm dead, but I'm not 100% sure, so I guess we'll wait. No, there's no way I'm not dead. I can block 4. Yes, this is over. Alright. Damn. I've been sick of mono red recently too, but I guess you can't do much about that. I did cut 1 copy of Wandering Emperor, which also kind of unfortunate. But this matchup is good. As long as I draw at least 1 piece of interaction at some point. It's so ridiculous to me that I lose this game off of not drawing either Archangel, Soul Transfer, Go for the Throat, or Brother Zen earlier, or a Braid. One more cut. Since I'm on the play, I feel pretty good about this. Underdog is fine. All the removal spells are fine. Soul Transfer is okay. Yeah, I think it's most likely Laron here. Probably the weakest spell. I think I want the Grixis command. The Grixis command probably acts as a sweeper almost every time. So essentially, my sideboarding there was cut expensive spells and try to board in as much removal as possible and as many cards that generate board presence, like Wedding Announcement, on the play. On the draw, I would reconsider. Okay, so here you have well, I guess either way, if this was a black source, I would still not keep this land. That's the main issue with Magic recently, is that even with 26 lands, you hit hands like this, and it's like, okay, well, you gotta mulligan them anyways. This is fine. Not great. Definitely not great. But I can kind of work with this. It needs a Wedding Announcement or Fable at least, I think, to really setup. Nope, looks like we're not getting there. Just play this since I have the Abrade. They're most likely going for a slow Fable draw, I guess, which kind of sucks. Or they have Rending Flame in hand. That's a hard read I can make in this spot, and I'm just gonna respect it. And flooding is terrible here. Oh, not terrible. Again, I have a lot of payoffs for a lot of mana, but I did cut 3 of them, so it's not the greatest thing ever. Hopefully I draw an owl, or that's pretty good. Holding on to this Eiganjo is probably not something I want to do, since I'm most likely discarding this land, and I would have to discard Eiganjo essentially, because I have to get rid of land. I need action. Discard a bunch of cards, probably a bunch of lands gonna fly out here. 1 Rending Flame, wow. That's not something I would have expected. Looks like they're going super slow, which is kind of weird. I didn't expect to be facing a deck like this. That means I should have been boarding in triple Laurent, but I couldn't know that. I could not have guessed that. Okay, wedding announcement and a removal spell, which isn't bad. Hopefully, okay, so my goal now is to wait until this flips and then cast it pretty much. Or I can cast it if I'm desperate, but try not to do that if possible. But we're in a pretty bad spot overall. It would be surprising if they're able to grind me out, but I have a feeling they might be able to. Because my draw was very, very weak proactively. I'm missing cards like I'm missing cards like Archangel Wrath here. That would help me a lot. That is okay. If I had a land, I would 100% cast this and this, but I don't. So I guess we just go for this into this, which isn't great, but isn't the worst thing ever either. I've been seeing this deck a lot. I don't know what the whole idea behind it is. It seems to be doing pretty okay, but I'm surprised this beats Grixis. It shouldn't. And it realistically shouldn't beat me either, but I've been struggling with draws recently. Not seeing Archangel at all during the games. 2 Laurent, have not drawn them. 2 owls, I've not seen them. Even though we're 15 cards deep, almost a quarter into the deck, and we have not seen any of those. Unfortunate. Kind of have to deal with these, which means that my Shield Red will most likely live, which is good. So that's something. Alright, so we cast this, it will live. And most likely will win me the game. I mean, I'm playing this as well as I can, so hopefully this pays off. And it should, since they discarded their second Rending Flame, which was a mistake. I don't think they had any reason to do that when I was going slow. But they still have so much, because all their cards were basically 2-for-1s, and mine, we have 1 2-for-1 here, 1 2-for-1 here, I guess. I had a few 2-for-1s, but not as many as they have. And I still need an answer for Reflection, so whether that be 2 copies of Brotherhood's End, 2 copies of Laurent, 1 Abrade left to go for the throat, 4 Archangel of Wrath, or 1 Wandering Emperor, or 1 Grixis Command. One of those has to be drawn soon. I guess I can activate this in the meantime, but they'll have a second one eventually. That is unfortunate. So they're attacking with everything. Oh, they're attacking with 2 and then they can deal 4? Is that a thing? Interesting. They have another Rending Flame? Oh wow, that's so unlucky. That is ridiculous. They probably top deck that. I doubt they had 3 in hand. It's possible, but what do I do in this spot? Not much. Kind of have to hold on to this. Too important. I do need an Archangel or something soon. Let's go into this and then probably no attack with the other one. I need to jump block most likely. Alright, I have 2 draws for Archangel essentially. Then I can use the treasure token and ping and I'll be pretty much stable for the rest of the game. That is extremely unlucky. Alright, well. They had 1 draw to top deck something really impactful to really shut me down, and they did exactly that. So, it's unfortunate. I might barely be able to survive with the Archangel top deck, but I'll be at 1 here. Oh no, I'm actually dead. Okay. That sucks. They have exact mana for Foundry. Well, that's alright. This is a classic showcase of Magic the Gathering, where I'm very favored in this matchup and things don't line up. You just have to move on in this case. Next match. Alright, on the draw, good hand. Good mana. It's pretty much every time I see a 3-lander with untapped on 2. Oh, another mono red deck. This is getting very frustrating at this point. This time I'm on the draw. I do have an Archangel, so we'll see if that makes a difference, but being on the draw is going to be rough. And having no 2-drop is going to be a problem as well. Oh, I did not top deck a 2-drop. Yeah, I just had to go this way again. Perfect curve almost. Well, 1 drop on 2, but it doesn't really matter as long as you play a creature.
I'm basically a professional at saving in Strahd by now. You're lucky this is a warning shot.
Yeah, I kind of have to go for the chump blocker every turn at this point. Could go for a Ganjo, but it's pretty much the same thing as just casting Wedding. Unless they remove it, but they have so much attacking power, I can't really afford to do that. What I'm looking for is another Archangel, which would put me in a good spot. Activate Foundry.
You're looking a little singed.
So I'm gonna play Angel, hope it lives, and then play another Angel, hope that one also does something. If I was on the play, this game would be over, but yeah, that's what happens. Not much I can do about it. Drawing double 6-drop is also not optimal. I'm really looking for, I don't know, some kind of Brotherhood's End or interaction in general. Should not be lethal here.
Toast?
Actually, it might be.
Love to.
Don't know. A double 2 damage, that's really unlucky. But it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. But why didn't they just cast it? Oh, I'm dead anyways. Yeah, I forgot I was dead to lightning strike either way. Okay. I'm getting really frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. This has been what's been happening recently. Just I can't seem to get out of these situations where I'm just losing coin flips, not drawing any 2-drops, not drawing my cards. This is when Magic really feels like the least fun and the least enjoyable. But yeah, you always have days like this. I guess this is kind of a highlight of bad days. Happens to everybody. It is what it is. But like hitting 2 mono red in a row, second one's on the play, hits the curve. It's rough. They always have double foundry for some reason. Not that it mattered here, but could have. Same sideboarding as before. Pretty much. I don't think I need Laurent. They're not, yeah, this is the more aggressive version. This just requires you to, well, I could still play one probably just because it does hit the etching, which is kind of okay. If I do hit it, it is pretty good. Maybe I play both anyways. It's still a 2-1, and 2-1s are pretty good in this matchup. You can pretty much block just about everything other than Swift Spear. Alright, this should work. Pretty simple keep. So the reason you keep this is just because you have untapped on 2 into 2 drop. Then you have 3 drop, and you have 3 lands. As always, if you see 3 lands with all your colors, I think you should always keep. Unless you have like a bunch of 5 drops and 6 drops. Let's say if you have one... I would say if you have one spell that's impactful on board, you would keep that hand. Even if you had like 2 5 drops as well to complement them. Well, within reason. If you have like 2... Yeah, again, if you have more than like 2 5+ cards, I would not. But... What just happened? Okay, I did not realize I was getting absolutely destroyed here again. Let's go with this. Laurent actually doing something pretty good. I think we go... If I draw land, maybe a Braid Go or Wedding Announcement. The problem is Kumano is a really, really good card, and it completely shifts the power of the Swift Spear into an actual, like, really, really solid card. Oh, that's really good news. I should win this game. And when you see your opponent lightning striking your 2-1, that's probably a really good sign. And in this case, I think I just deal with it. Since I also have the Go for the Throat up, and then I can develop on an empty board, which would be ideal. That's fine. Get rid of that. Take 0 damage. Okay, they have the 1 mana 2 damage. Wait. Do they though? Because they didn't use it. That's a really good draw. Okay, they actually drew it, I think. Or they purposefully used the lightning strike to be mana efficient, which is also a possibility. Either way, I have to play around it by not playing Fable. Either way, I think even if they didn't have it, I think I would lean towards Wedding Announcement either way. Because it's the card that takes the most amount of time to set up. Sure. Once I find a land, I'll be able to deal with that for free. I don't think I want to take that. At this point, I should probably take it. I think I'm safe at 8 and they're mana screwed on 3. Any other situation, I would consider not doing that. Let's go with the Archangel. To set up a strong board presence. Yeah. So there is an argument to keeping this. But against mono red, usually once you develop a board and they are tapped out, it takes too much resources out of them to deal with this. Essentially, they're taking up their entire turn, which allows you to really develop your next card without any pressure. And also, we have double the incentive of doing this because the Wedding Announcement is ticking, and that will really set up a strong board state. I think I go for the creature. It's more valuable here than the card. And this is perfect because Fable is such a good card that it allows you to ditch your weaker cards when they're not useful anymore. Yeah, this card needs to go, essentially, is what I'm saying. Could keep the Igandro. regret not keeping the Iganjo, but it is what it is. Just go for a 2-turn. 9/9 damage. Let's hope I find some form of spell. That's perfect. I will not play the land in case we draw a blood token or another fable, although I doubt it'll come to that. Oh, wow. Post combat destroying my creature. Okay. That's a really good sign for when you're playing against mono red that can't block. I'm gonna kill it anyways. We're getting a 3/3, and next turn we win, even though we drew a bunch of lands. One of the reasons Grixis is so strong right now is because Appraiser is so broken. Appraiser is a card that this deck basically lacks. Well, we're trading Appraiser for Wedding Announcement, which in some ways is better, but in some ways is worse. It's better for board presence. It can draw you a card, but Appraiser will almost always draw you a really good card, and it's also a 3/3, so the thing's pretty broken, let's just say that. And it's the funny part is that it's as easy to cast as a Wedding Announcement. That's the main issue. Because theoretically, a card that's 3 colors will be a lot more difficult to cast, right? In theory. But that's just not the case with the Triome and really good dual land mana. It's unfortunate. If that wasn't the case, I feel like Grixis would not function without their 3 mana guaranteed look at top 3. Well, I forgot what that effect is actually called. But look at top 3, pick 1. So they have much better top decks overall than this deck. Well, that's not necessarily true, but early on. Okay. We're on the draw, and that's bad. And unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it. I already kind of shifted the deck as much as possible towards early game. What I could do is potentially cut another one of these for Laron number. Oh, I could play Duress, which has actually been a consideration for me recently. Oh, actually, you know what? There's definitely a consideration for Unlicensed Hearse, which can act as a blocker. And I do kind of like that. It's not very good most of the time, but I feel like it has some spots where I feel like it will be strong. Are they playing? Yeah, they were playing Chandra, right? So I need to play the Soul Transfers, unfortunately. Do I really want to play this? Because it does eat up the Bloodthirsty adversary power by quite a lot. Let's just cut now. I think I can realistically do totally fine without it. Well, let's hope that's the case at least. Alright. We found it, which is huge, because I would not have a 2-drop in this hand otherwise. So that was a smart move. Okay, they're mulliganing, so we have a very high likelihood of winning this game unless they have a perfect curve into like a planeswalker. There's the best 1-drop, so let's see if we can compete with this. I don't really need white on 2, so I'm going to play Haunted Ridge. In this deck, there's no card that would require white mana on 2. Okay, that's the best possible 2-drop. So far, I'm not feeling very good about this, but not the worst case scenario. That is unfortunate. It doesn't line up very well till the end of your next turn, so I guess I just kill it now. Should I kill it now? I almost feel like not killing it now because they might be mana screwed or something. I could maybe kill something else. I don't really want to deal with this right now on a Morgan the 5 for them. if possible. Okay, they found the land. I guess I have to deal with it. Either way, even if they can do cast it until their next turn, I feel like they're just gonna cast something this turn. There's the goddamn Chandra though. Oh, that's a 4-mana Chandra. Giant Cinder Maw, that's really annoying. Field Red's good. Well, at least they didn't take the Chandra, I guess. Yeah, I could lose, yeah. If they have perfect curve as they exactly had this game, Mono Red can still win the game from being on the play naturally. They don't need many cards. That's not very good though. And I found a removal spell, thank goodness. That is gonna change the game. And the Hearse is gonna pay off here because I get to play 2-drop. And I'll have Archangel to stabilize the next turn. And hopefully Shield Red the turn after that, or Shield Red next turn, depends what happens here. They have a removal spell. They don't have a removal spell, definitely Chump Block, I think. Okay, they have nothing, so it's most likely the 5 damage spell, I would assume. Which means that I probably end up playing this Wedding Announcement. Because I feel like they definitely have something. I'm not really comfortable busting out the Shield Red yet. And this is ETB anyways. And now this is an active blocker as well. Okay, there's the 3 damage, so that's kind of annoying. But at least the 8-3 damage, hey, what can you say? It's possible they don't have the 5 damage spell, but either way, I wasn't in a spot where I had to play this, so I think playing it safe is probably smarter. Okay, they have 1 spell in hand. Good sign. Again, I do think it's the 5 damage spell, but we'll find out soon. I think I can easily play this to get the extra life. I think that's worth. It could also not be 5 damage, but it was worth playing around. But I have a feeling it is. It was not. But I guess theoretically it was 5 damage because they have 3 plus 1, 3 plus 2, I mean. Interesting. It was still worth playing around. Because then they had to use the 3 damage spell on Laurent and they top decked it. Okay, that's perfect for me. Now Shield Red will live and it will win the game. They should concede to that, most likely. Could choose to attack, but I have no reason to. No, I guess I have reason to. They would die next turn. I probably should have attacked. Alright, okay. Whatever. That's my bad. But sometimes you're in a spot where you can't lose, so I just default towards playing it safe, even though there's nothing that could possibly happen. I feel like I've been on the wrong side of things a few times where I think I'm safe and I make an attack and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this card, and then I lose. It's probably not something you want to do too often. So if you're in a spot where the win is pretty much guaranteed, I would advise you to not take things too aggressively unless you know their list. If it was open decklist and I knew exactly what they were playing, I'm just not in the mindset to like think about exactly what could happen there, even though most likely nothing could have. All right, let's play one more, potentially, or 2. We'll see how fast things go. Let's hope to not face Actually, you know what? I'm kind of okay with facing mono red. I think the matchup is favored. It's just a frustrating deck to face most of the time. They kept a 7 and I have a 6 drop and a 3 drop. This could work, but it could also be terrible. If it's Grixis and they counter my Fable, I would lose the game on the spot. This hand is fine. I wouldn't say it's great, because obviously we're on a 2-lander, and this is what I was talking about earlier. When you're on a 2-lander, it's feels like you win or lose based off of if you draw your third land. It's Grixis. Okay, so definitely correct mulligan. And this hand is fine against Grixis. Not the best, but it's not terrible. Okay, they... What? Why are they manually tapping for Blood Tithe Harvester? Interesting. Alright, so this is going to be a game where I can really showcase the thought process about how to play against Grixis. So you really want to make sure that they don't play Fable on 3. And to do that, you don't want to tap out if you have another option. And if they do play Fable on 3, you want to make sure you kill the Goblin. And since I have a 3 drop, I had to make sure I kill the Goblin and leave myself open to playing a 3 mana spell. I will have to discard Bankbusters here because the game is progressing a little too fast. When Grixis has a curve, it's actually very difficult if you're on the draw. And since I lost a coin flip, I have to play suboptimally for the rest of the game, pretty much. Which isn't great. It really depends what they have, though. Grixis has a very high ceiling for the amount of pressure they can dish out. But sometimes they just don't have much. Okay, that was something that would have been pretty devastating. Had the land for it, which I'm assuming they don't, because they discarded it. One of the reasons why I'm definitely considering playing some more spot removal, because when you're on the draw, it really feels like you need it. Although I'm playing 2 Abrade, so it's just unfortunate that I drew the Go for the Throat instead. It's -1 interactive spell for shield. At double blue-red means we're not going to get hit by Invoke Despair, which is kind of huge. Okay, that's a good reason to discard shield red, I guess. We are in a bit of a bad spot, though, still. Found a land. Could realistically discard both Bankbusters in this spot. I don't know if that's correct, though. What I do know is I probably have to Archangel this turn, which is not optimal either. I would have to deal with the Appraiser, not the Harvester. Yeah, this is a rough spot. I don't think I have a choice. Again, being on the draw puts me in a situation where I have to play more aggressively than I want to. And it's not going to be pretty. That's all I can say about that. I think I still deal with the Harvester. No. No. I shouldn't. Fable plus Harvester is less scary than Fable plus Appraiser, I think. Card advantage is the name of the game at this point. Yeah, not discarding Bankbuster. It's kind of rough because if I discard both Bankbusters and I draw one more land, that would put me in a pretty bad spot because I don't really want the 6 lands right now. And since I drew 2 spells, unfortunately now I'm missing a land, so it's kind of a gamble. But I think the odds were that in 3 cards I would find a land, but I didn't. Well, we still have the 3rd card coming, so that's a decent draw though. That is a decent draw. Could potentially win mid game. We'll see. We're attacking with this though. I think they might have a counter spell, which would be unfortunate. But I can't play into it this turn though. Yeah, so I have to let them Fable into Harvester. But if they have the counter spell, they have the counter spell anyways. Not like it matters. At least they have to use the counter spell on their turn. Yep, that's -2 mana at least, which is okay. Fable's gone. Still in a bad spot. Still lacking interaction. Double Fable is a lot to deal with right now. 6-drop is not what I want to see. Definitely not. I think they have another counter spell. Unfortunate. But I don't really have a choice. I have to go with the Bankbuster. And I think I have to draw now. I need to start landing up here. Nope. Wow. So my decision to discard the land ended up being extremely bad, although the odds were with me. Oh god. Sometimes you're just gonna get blasted by the randomness of Magic the Gathering. And today is that day. Yep, invoke. God, this deck is so frustrating to play against. When they have everything, they really do have everything, and that's a very frustrating feeling. It is very similar to Mono Red in that way, where it really feels like they're just dunking on you for forever, essentially. I have no out here. Maybe, no, another 6-drop's not it. I've not seen a single copy of Brotherhood's End in every match today. Well, I have seen one and I discarded it off of Fable when I was already winning. But it's not come in clutch at all, even though I'm playing 2 in the main deck, which is supposed to be exactly for a situation like this, where my opponent plays double Fable. It's a nod to Fable, essentially. The card is just way too strong, and you need a card like this to kind of equalize yourself, even things up. Alright. See what we can do here against this really frustrating Grixis deck. Oh yeah, I usually don't play Lily, but I'm on the play, so I have a feeling I probably should. But for this Lily, I need to make 2 cuts. I should probably only play 1, realistically. I don't think I can play that... Sanctuary Warden's so good, though. Interesting. It's like, it's Lily or Archangel, basically. I feel like Lily's not worth it. It's pretty good early game, though. Is my early game more important? Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is more important than pretty much anything. I think 3 Sanctuary Warden might be too much actually. I'm trying to play faster. Archangel Wrath is still good. It's not, I guess, not the best thing ever either. Let's try this. Pretty close between both. They're kind of both 6 drops. Archangel Wrath is just better at like stabilizing their board, like getting rid of Fable tokens or Fable Hikijiki itself, or the 3/2. This hand is not great, but I don't know. I don't like mulliganing against Grixis when they have access to counter spells and discard spells. It is what it is, essentially. There's a duress, but I have a bank buster and backup anyways. That's not the worst. That's why I didn't want to mulligan, because if I mulligan into like a single copy like Wedding Announcement or Fable for turn 3, it's not going to look very good either. That is not the best draw ever. It's not the worst. Actually, it is pretty bad in the spot. I need something a little bit more early. Essentially, at least a 5 drop. I could play it on 3. I wouldn't feel that good about it. They need to stop manually tapping. It's actually triggering. It's You don't need to manually tap your 2 mana to cast a Blood-Tithe Harvester. It won't let you cast it anyways. It won't tap for black. Like, this is a decent habit to have, but not for turn 2. But maybe they're training their muscle memory for later. I don't know. Just find it to be a little bit cringe. Alright, no play. That's good. No Fable. Unless you dodged that bullet. Yeah, more non-white lands. Not what I'm looking for. Another mana issue coming from this deck. Causing potential problems. There goes the Harvester, which is actually okay. It's -1 removal star for this. Keep that in mind. Do want to dodge Shield Red if possible. Otherwise, I will have to top deck a white source or a removal spell. Nope. Okay. They definitely have a counter spell. They're playing very defensively here. That's actually good. And that is also good. I will play this. Still need a white source, but I'll get it here maybe. And this card's really good. I feel like I have to incorporate it more into my post-board games. I don't know what to cut for it. But it has to come in. It is so strong when they're trying to play slow and you, since you're on the play, you have a mana advantage. They can't really use the counterspell if they're not developing, and they're not going to want to develop because they're on the draw. They want to keep the counterspell up, right? And as such, you can really push your advantage with this in situations exactly like this. I feel like having a second one would definitely help. I still need to figure out what it's coming in for. And that I do not have the answer to. Potentially unlicensed hearse, actually. I feel like unlicensed hearse is either really insane or not great. Well, this is better baseline. I feel like you're always interacting with their board. Yeah, this is fine. I will... Interesting. Do I want to give them the card? Or do I want my 1/1? think I want my 1/1 here, actually. Surprising. I'm pretty far ahead. And this 4 damage sounds like it would be really good. And I drew my white source. Okay, fantastic. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this, which is a perfect draw in this spot. And there's the goddamn Blade Coil Serpent, which is kind of annoying. But hey, not much I can do about it. That's what I was talking about. This card is really brutal. But I found another Archangel, so this damage is going to add up, and they will probably lose the game. Because I drew that white source. Now I can just cast this. I can discard 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are good to go. They have to tap out for this, and yeah, they're pretty lucky they have the swamp, because otherwise they would not be able to discard 3. They do have to take 1 damage. It's good for me. Any point of damage matters when I have an odd attacked, odd power creature. I'm going to 13. Is it potentially lethal? Actually, nope. 6 plus... No, I have 10 damage. Which isn't bad. This is why I wanted to change the deck's playstyle to be more aggressive. But I feel like that doesn't play that well into Grixis anyways. But this card is truly a nightmare. I don't think they win here, though. I could actually see Liliana being better than Wedding Announcement in some positions on the play. Interesting. Not really, actually, because if Wedding resolves, I'd much rather have a Wedding Announcement, I think. But that's probably not true. As a top deck, I'd rather have Lily, I think, most situations. But the point of Lily is to come down early anyways. If something has to come down early, I'd rather it be Wedding Announcement, also easier to cast. On the draw, I can't afford to play it, though. Alright, so... But again, I have to play... Yeah, actually, I kind of have to play, and the reason for that is... Again, they're playing Serpent. I have to, like, punish them early game. I can't just hold on to cards. I need a way to, like, really push them. That could be... It could be with Shield Red, too, actually. Interesting. Hmm. I feel like I'm going to try double... This is going to be interesting. This is kind of a test. Double Lily. I'll most likely cut... Maybe a Wedding Announcement on the draw, actually. It's not as good as you might expect. I think on 3 on the draw, I'd rather have this. This is better on the play. Anything else I should consider? Again, I'm considering Shield Red instead of Archangel. It's a very specific spot where that would be better, actually. Do we try like the more aggressive style of play? Play 1 Shield Red here into Al, like trying to like really dominate them early if possible. It's gonna be interesting. You know what? I kind of want to try it. I think I'll do... No, I still want Wedding Announcement. I still need 3 drops. Let's try this. This is kind of weird. I feel like I should also play the 3rd Sanctuary Warden. It's so hard to sideboard when you have so many good cards. Obviously, I don't think I can touch the removal spells. Those are too important. Oh, okay. We have a chance to see it in action here. We'll see if my theory is correct, where this is actually quite good, and I might be underestimating it. Definitely possible. Definitely possible. That's a really good draw. Let's check for Fable. No Fable. 2-drop, 3-drop. Okay. I can work with this, I think. They're not manually tapping. They're losing their patience a little bit. That's good. I do have to dodge a counter spell. They're probably gonna play this out though. Which kind of sucks. I'm under a lot of pressure, but I do have 2 shield reds, which can come down very quickly. Oh, there's nothing in the graveyard, so... There's a Fable. That's really, really good. That's way better than playing Lily. Possibly my best draw in that position. Yeah, so the more I think about it, you know, being on the play is an advantage because you play first, but you do have 1 less card. So if Lily comes down early and eats up your cards, that could be a real issue, I feel like. And I think that's actually the case, because even if they mulligan once, it's even more brutal, right? If they don't counter it. Like, I get the sack. Theoretically, maybe they play a 4-drop, and then I get the discard. They'll have to choose between discarding like a land or an invoke. And if they don't draw the land, then they'll have to discard the invoke the next turn. So it's creates pretty interesting play patterns that I might have to explore a little more. At this point, I have to try different things to gain an edge on Grixis. It doesn't feel like it's that good of a match. Well, again, I do think I'm favored, but it's coin flippy. It's whether I'm on the play or the draw. So actually, I would say it's about even if I had to really take a stance. Another Harvester. There's another Lily, which isn't bad here. I think I'm okay with discarding the... I think I want to hold on to Lilies. I also kind of want to hold on to Harvester as well. I could see myself just not discarding anything in this spot. Maybe this land. What else can I draw? I like the Lily because it's kind of it is interaction in a way. And that does feel pretty good. I don't know about discarding the land. But I have a blood token. And I have another Lily. I should probably not discard at all. Do this. If they have a counter spell, it would be pretty unfortunate, but they didn't. If you wanted to play on counterspell, you were supposed to play this, but I want to keep my curve intact if possible. Keep in mind as well that on certain board states, this will eat up a third of Invoke Despair. Also pretty damn relevant. Okay, keeping Harvester over the 3/3. That is overall a good thing for me, I would say. Just because the Archangel of Wrath is going to be better in this case. It's really good. And I do have a 4/4 building up, and this Lily is also kind of life gain. Really good. I'm really happy with it. That is pretty good for them. Pretty much ideal. Kind of need an Archangel soon or something. Okay, they're playing out the land in case I have another Lily or something, maybe. Don't know. Oh, that's such a good draw. That was why I kept the land in some way here. Let's deal with that. Kill the Harvester. Now we're in a really good spot. Keep the Unlicensed Source up because they have a creature in the graveyard. Otherwise, I would maybe consider attacking, but I don't think it's big enough to start considering that. In case they have... Okay, that's It's actually fine. I don't know if they should have kept that in a desperate situation where they kind of needed an invoke or something better. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll take out the creature over anything here. That is fantastic. Wow. Yeah, I don't get to activate, but it is not bad. Actually, I should have attacked there. That was a situation where I should have attacked, because this is a 5/5, doesn't get blocked. Yep. And I don't need this on defense. I played a little bit too fast. I think this game is in a really good spot for me right now. And I should have attacked. But I do think I will still end up winning this game, potentially. Depending on what this is, because they kept that over discarding it. So it must be something. But what is it? It would have to be Invoke, I would say. The only impactful card in this spot. It could be Serpent. It'd be a little bit annoying. Not the worst. I definitely regret attacking. I feel like that might matter. In a matchup like this, it's not like mono red where things are locked up. This matchup has a lot of comeback cards that can affect the battlefield in a way that would be really bad. Especially with the current board state they have. They have a board state and they have a reflection that could be an issue the following turn, so I have to be kind of careful, and I don't have interaction if they have like a attack plus serpent or something. So it's not clear cut here. And that 5 damage would have eaten a goblin essentially, which is kind of huge in a spot like this. Okay, Fable goes. That's actually fine. I'm surprised they kept that. And I'm surprised they're dealing with Fable over Archangel when this is more of the immediate threat. Kind of interesting. Go with this. Yeah, again, this is bad that I didn't attack. I'm not happy about that. Alright, I'm definitely attacking here though. So I should, since I have a vigilance creature, which is why Owl is so good. Now they have to block, leaving them with Fable, Kiki. This game would be a lot easier if I did attack the previous turn, because they would have to block again with the Fable this time, because I would be sacking their second token, and they would have either... No, they couldn't let that through, right? 5, they would be at 8. No, they couldn't. So they would have had to block the 5 power Unlicensed Hearse. They lose a token. I sack the other token. They would have had to block with the reflection this time, leaving them with no board instead of a reflection, which is a huge difference there. My autopilot, my defensive autopilot is definitely sometimes a problem. I just play a little bit too fast. Even though it is still unlikely that they get out of this, but it's not impossible. Definitely not impossible. Uh-oh. What in the... Never seen that one before. Wait, I guess I won? But it didn't... Wow, okay, I've never seen that before. What, I think that's a win, right? Was I at 2 pips? And it somehow it didn't show the concede animation. Well, the more you know. There's always new things to discover in this client. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the vid. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.